Hello, my name is Jumi Olawale, and I am so excited to be back to do another video. Today, I would like to talk about a topic that is very dear to my heart called gratitude, and how we can go from the blurry lines of gratitude to jealousy, and how that just kills us. It deprives us of our joy, it doesn't make us happy, and it doesn't make us grateful. This particular, topic was actually inspired by what my son did about a month and a half ago. So what happened was that I packed his lunch for him, as I usually do whenever he goes to stay at my friend's house after school. So there are times that, we finish work later. So he gets dropped off by a friend of ours to our friend's house, and he has dinner there until we pick him up. On this particular day, I remember very well that I packed for him as dinner, sandwich, some strawberries, some grapes, some yogurt, and string cheese. And when I went to pick him up, my friend, Sister Titi, told me that what happened earlier when she gave him his food was that he did not want to eat it. And the reason why he didn't want to eat it was because when she prepared his food to warm it up and lay it on his table to eat, she also got the other kids' meals ready at the same time. So her boys and my son, they were all eating together. And what they were having for dinner was just a hot dog. And they don't have big appetites, so they only had one hot dog and one bun. And as soon as my son saw the hot dog and the bun, he wanted a hot dog. So he no longer wanted any of his food, his sandwiches, his strawberries, his grapes, his cheese, and his yogurt. He wanted hot dog. And he requested it, and my friend told him, no, you have to eat what your mom packed for you. So he decided that he would eat his food, but apparently he couldn't keep his eyes off his friend's plates. And it got to a point while he was eating his food that he said, oh, I wish I could have a hot dog. We might say, wow, that's just something that kids do, and it sounds funny and all, but isn't that what we do as adults as well? When my friend said this to me, she's like, don't we do this as adults? Isn't there something to learn from children about the way that we adults as well behave? While my son was busy focusing on his friends' plates and the fact that they had, hot dogs, he couldn't even see that he had so much on his plate. He couldn't see that his plate was full and even bigger than theirs, because it was too focused on what somebody else was eating. Don't we get too focused on what other people are doing, on what they have achieved, on what they have been able to accrue in their lives, that, somebody's husband is nicer than ours, or somebody's wife is nicer than ours, or somebody drives a better car, or they live in a better house? Doesn't that affect us? So I couldn't help but think of Psalm 23. The very famous psalm, the Lord is my shepherd. In that psalm, there's a verse that said that he lays a table before me. Just like my son had a table with sandwiches and strawberries and grapes and yogurt and cheese and juice, God also lays table before us. And there was a time that that's what we wanted, because I remember my son will always make a request for whatever he wants to eat, so that I make sure that I make that food so that he can eat it. But on this day, he didn't want it. He couldn't remember that this was one time something that he really enjoyed. He could not focus on how good it tasted, the kind of variety that was on his table. Do we not do this as adults? Do we not covet other people's stuff? Do we not hope and wish that we had something else? Do we not look at another mother and think, wow, they have it together, look at their kids? Or we go to their homes and we're like, wow, I wish I could be like them, very Martha Stewarty. Do we not judge ourselves by other people's standards? Do we not focus on things that we don't have? We do it. We are not focused on our plate. We are not focused on what God has laid before us. There are some of us, we complain because we have only girls and we don't have boys. So we'll talk about how it would be so nice if only I had a boy. Or vice versa. It would be so nice if only I had a girl. Wow, God placed a table before you. He has given you a blessing of a child, of a fruit of the womb, and you're too busy talking about the gender? Or for some of us who, we're married and we're looking at our friends' husbands and how they treat their wives. Maybe they hold their hands outside. They do public display of affection. Maybe whenever people are around them, they're a certain way and you like that. And you're resenting your husband for not being like that. Oh, I wish he was like that. Look at that guy. Look at our friend's husband. Look at the way he treats his wife. You don't ever treat me that way. How about what he does for you? How about when he changes the oil of your car? How about when he vacuums your car? He might not do it all. He might not buy you flowers. But is he supportive? Does he listen to you? Does he help out sometimes? That's something. Some of us, we criticize our wives. We say, oh, they're not cleaning the house enough, or they're not, doing this and they're not doing that. And we forget how much work it is and how sometimes unfairly burdensome it can be to be a mother and wife at the same time. How they have to make sure that the kids are well taken care of. They manage the home. Some of them giving up their careers to stay at home and raise the kids. Some of them are working and taking care of the kids at the same time. How many times have you taken the time to look at what God has blessed you with? Or some of us who are single and we're so, oh, I don't have a husband. Oh, I don't have a wife. I wish. There's nothing wrong with wanting something. But there's something wrong when you can't be grateful for what you have. And you're too busy looking in the future that you're not even here in the present. You're too busy looking at that hot dog that you can't see your strawberries and your grapes, all the great things that are in your life. Don't we all do it? We all do it. So I want to challenge us. Just like my son did. Looking at those plates that we do it. And I want to challenge us to stop it. To stop doing that. To focus on what we have. To look at our plate and say, God, I am so thankful for what you have done for me. I'm so thankful for my parents. I'm so thankful for my siblings, for my friends, for my husband, for my wife, for my children. Whatever it is, my house may not be as big as the other person's house, but God, I am thankful that I have a roof over my head. I might not have all the money in the world, but God, I am thankful that I have a family that loves me. I might not have a spouse right now, but God, I am thankful that you're doing great things in my life. I might not be, Martha Stewart, the one that bakes and cleans and does, but God, I am thankful for the joy of just having children. I might not have it all, but I am thankful. One of our pastors at our church, actually my pastor's son, Paul, said one time in one of his preachings a few years ago, and it stuck with me. He said, unexpressed gratitude is ingratitude. So when you have not expressed how grateful you are simply ungrateful. I mean, that hit me to my core. And I had to say, God, I am so sorry. I repent of that. I am sorry. Because I did not express how grateful I am. How many times do we express how grateful we are to our spouses? There are certain things that I take for granted. Like, for example, my husband changing the, oil in the car. I don't do that. I have never done that since I started driving. I have been in the United States since 2004. I have never, ever taken the car for oil change. But I took that for granted. I just assumed that that's what guys do, right? Not all guys do that, right? But for me, I assumed that that's just what guys do. So how can I be grateful for that? What should I be thankful for? I was just being exactly like my son. Rather than me looking at my plate and saying, wow, thank you that you did this. See, your life will be so much better. And you'll be so less angry. And you'll be so less dissatisfied when you focus on the things that you do have rather than the things that you don't have. You can pray and say, God, help me. I need this and I need that. But be thankful. So this is the homework for all of us. And I'd like you to do this as well. Why don't you send me your video or write me something. Tell me things that you're grateful for. Just be grateful. Just write things that you are thankful for. So keep your eyes on your plate and do not stare and focus on the other's plate. Be grateful today. Thank you and have a lovely day.